Do you recognize this team? And I don't mean the guys coming in and out of the lineup because of all the roster moves with the Blackhawks, but the IceHogs have won 2 straight games, and they were back-to-back. I don't know what team I'm watching anymore. Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and let's talk about these IceHogs. So this weekend down here in Rockford has been a pretty good one. Before we get to all the positives, let's rewind a few days and go back to Wednesday where they lost 9-4 against the Grand Rapids Griffins. That game was not so good. It saw Colin Delia giving up 7 goals in about half of the game. Tom Aubryn came in relief in the second period, making his AHL debut. He did allow 2 goals, but he was pretty solid otherwise. I'm not gonna dwell on that game. It was bad. It's in the past. It is what it is. But the IceHogs were also supposed to play the Sunday before that in a back-to-back with the Cleveland Monsters, but that game was postponed due to COVID protocols. That is now 3 games this season that Cleveland has had to postpone against the IceHogs alone. They've played the first 2 makeup games already. I don't know when this one's going to be rescheduled for. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's been a weird week in IceHogs land. So after that horrendous game against the Grand Rapids Griffins on Wednesday, if you do want to hear more about it, Jacqueline and I talked a lot about it in the last podcast episode, so go check that out. You can find the video for it here on this YouTube channel, or you can find the audio only stream wherever you get your podcasts. This weekend was a lot more positive. Back-to-back games against the Iowa Wild, back-to-back wins. Oh, it feels so good to say that. It felt good just to say the IceHogs got their 2nd win of the season. Then they come back less than 24 hours later and they get their 3rd win of the season. Oh my goodness. And what is more positive for the organization as a whole is that Colin Delia played both of the games this weekend and he looked pretty good. I wouldn't say he's back to prime Colin Delia, but he came up with some big stops. One on Saturday where he was on his back with all of his limbs just sticking straight up in the air. He kind of looked like a turtle that was flipped over on its shell, but he made the stop. They don't ask how, just how many. In that Saturday game, 4 minutes and 26 seconds into the game, Gabriel Dumont scored first for Iowa. And we all went, here we go again. And all of the dread started flooding back into our systems. But 9 minutes and 23 seconds into the first period, Cody Franzen, assisted by Nicholas Beaudin and Andre Altibarmaki, and he got the puck at the point and just blasted it through the goaltender Hunter Jones. And not to be completely outdone, a few minutes later, Mate Halupa from the left wing boards just came down and absolutely ripped a shot past the goaltender. That one was also assisted by Nicholas Beaudin, and Cody Franzen picked up an assist on that as well. Both of those guys had 2-point first periods. The IceHogs went into the first intermission having a lead 2-1. They came out in the second period, and the second periods have always been terrible for this team, and every time the clock starts in the second period, I just feel all sorts of gross, dreadful, disgusting feelings because I'm just wondering how many goals will they allow in that period? And will they even be able to score one? Will they outscore their mistakes? You just never know what kind of horror show the second period's going to bring for the Rockford IceHogs. But 11 minutes and 34 seconds into the second period on Saturday night here in Rockford, on the power play, Cody Franzen again, assisted by Brandon Peary and Nicholas Beaudin with his 3rd assist of the game. Cody Franzen wanted to have a big night and he wanted to revive that power play a little bit. The IceHogs had scored 2 power play goals on Wednesday, but other than that, they've been pretty bad at doing so. But Saturday, they got another one. Cody Franzen with his 2nd goal of the game, 2nd goal of the season, and the IceHogs had a 3-1 lead. So then you're really wondering what kind of horror this period's going to present. And it looked like it was on its way to doing so with about 4 minutes left in the period. Cody McLeod got on the board for Iowa. Former IceHog Joseph Cramarosa got an assist on that goal because of course. And since there were still 4 minutes left to play after this goal went in, my mind went to all sorts of scenarios about how many goals can the IceHogs allow in 4 minutes? A lot can be done in 4 minutes. Thankfully, they held on. They didn't allow another goal in the second period. They didn't allow another goal in the game, and the IceHogs won 3-2. And it sure wasn't due to a lack of trying on Iowa's part. The shots on goal were 37-19 in favor of Iowa. Oy. Colin Delia had himself a game. He had himself another one on Sunday, but this time he got a little more help from the guys in front of him. This time, the first goal of the game was scored by the IceHogs' Andre Altibarmakian. He picked up his second goal of the season. The IceHogs had the 1-0 lead. It felt very nice. And then with the first period winding down, Iowa got on the board. Just under 3 minutes to go, Connor Dewar on the power play tied the game at 1, and that is how they went into the first intermission. Time for the second period. 2.5 minutes in, Evan Barrett gets a goal and retakes the lead for the IceHogs. That was his second goal of the season. Isaac Phillips got his second assist of the season. Reese Johnson got his first assist of the season. And on that first period goal, Dmitry Osipov got his first assist of the season. I forgot to mention that. But about 2 minutes later, Iowa was back. And once again, it was Connor Dewar. And the game was tied at 2. Oh, second periods, why do you always do this? 2 minutes later, Iowa was back again. Damian Giroux on the power play took the lead for Iowa in the second period, 3-2. And that is how they went into the second intermission. Third period, 1 period to go. The IceHogs have to either tie it or they have to score more than 1, take the lead in regulation, and win it in regulation. They didn't do that, but 8 minutes and 11 seconds into the period, DJ Busdecker, he got the puck at the left side of the net and managed to pick it out of his feet because the pass was right to his skates. Didn't matter, he got it on his stick and sent it past Hunter Jones. The game was tied at 3. The IceHogs did their best to try to shoot themselves in the foot because with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock in the third period, a delay of game penalty by the goal scorer of the third period, DJ Busdecker. And up to that point, Iowa had been 2 for 4 on the power play, so it wasn't looking very positive for the home team, but they killed it off. Colin Delia came up with some massive stops. There were 2 big shot blocks from Garrett Mitchell and Cody Franzen, and this game went to overtime. The only other overtime game of the year for the IceHogs was against these same Iowa Wild. It didn't turn in the IceHogs' favor. Matt Tompkins stopped an overtime penalty shot, but shortly after that, the Iowa Wild said that they weren't going to be denied the win, came down and scored, and sent the IceHogs home very sad. So it was redemption time. And redeem themselves they did. 1 minute and 17 seconds into overtime, Altibarmakian had the puck in the slot and just sent a wicked wrister past Hunter Jones, assisted by Brad Morrison because he had just been sent down from the taxi squad. Our most efficient forward was back in the lineup and he managed to pick up another assist on Sunday. Andre Altibarmakian had 2 goals on the game. Colin Delia came up with some massive stops, got his second win of the season, second win of the weekend, and the IceHogs were back-to-back game winners. It was a wonderful weekend here in Rockford, Illinois. And that Sunday game certainly made up for the horrible Blackhawks game that was earlier that day. So the IceHogs have back-to-back wins. They have 3 wins on the season, but all of that is behind us and they face the Grand Rapids Griffins again this week. This Thursday, the Griffins come to the BMO Harris Bank Center once again to take on the IceHogs, and the IceHogs are hoping for some sort of redemption against this team that's killed them twice. And the Blackhawks took a lot of their guys back because they're going on a road trip and need some taxi squad guys. So that's fun. So let's go over my 3 questions for this game against Grand Rapids. Question 1, which goaltender do we see? This has been a very common question so far this year, and there's always so many factors that go into it. Of course, Colin Delia was recalled back to the Blackhawks after 2 straight wins this weekend. Typically, you'd say he'd be the one in net, but he cannot be since he is back in Chicago. Matt Tompkins was sent down from the taxi squad back to the IceHogs. The IceHogs still have Cale Morris, but they also brought in Ivan Nalimov, who has been a Blackhawks prospect for probably the last 100 years, but he finally signed and came over to the IceHogs. He would have seen a stint with them last year, but then COVID and the season got shut down and all of that, so he's back. And the IceHogs just loaned goaltender Tom Aubryn back to the Indy Fuel. So the 3 options are Matt Tompkins, Cale Morris, and Ivan Nalimov. Which one do we see? You know who I'm gonna pick? It's probably not going to be the one, but I would go with Cale Morris. Would I be surprised if we see Matt Tompkins in net? Nope. I'm pretty much expecting it at this point. Question 2. Can they keep the shots against under 30? So, the last time they saw Grand Rapids, they allowed 49 shots at the net. For those of you keeping track at home, that is very not good. In Saturday's game against the Iowa Wild, they allowed 37, and on Sunday they allowed 30. So the skaters on the ice are letting a lot of rubber get through to their goaltender. Colin Delia was up to the task this weekend, but so far this year we haven't seen that many great goaltending performances. So, coming off of 2 straight wins, 2 back-to-back wins that gave them their second and third of the season, will the skaters help out their goaltenders and limit the shots against? Oh, buddy, do I hope so. I really don't want to be stressed out over 30 times as the puck just keeps going toward our net, because depending on who is in goal, I might just feel like every shot is going to be a goal against, and that is just a lot for one person to take. Question 3. Will they score on the power play? So, before last Wednesday, they had scored 3 power play goals. I'm pretty sure those were in the first 2 games of the season. When Brandon Peary came back, he put up 2. He was recalled back to the Blackhawks. Nicholas Beaudin was sent back to the Blackhawks, and he's been our assist getter. Wyatt Kalnick is currently up with the Blackhawks, our other assist getter. So we've got Cody Franzen. And Brad Morrison was sent back to us, our most efficient forward, so maybe he will chip in on the power play. And with Andre Altibarmakian picking up 2 goals in Sunday's game, maybe he goes on a little bit of a heater. But losing Brandon Peary, Nicholas Beaudin, and Lucas Carlson and Wyatt Kalnick, that puts a big old hole in our power play units. It finally looked like maybe it could get back on track at least a little bit. Last Wednesday's game against Grand Rapids, they went 2 for 4. On Saturday, they were 1 for 3 with the Cody Franzen goal. Sunday, they were 0 for 5, but they didn't have Brandon Peary in that one. So, what will we see with the man advantage? If this team wants any chance of turning this season around to be a positive one, they're going to have to work on the power play, and they're going to have to start scoring on it. There are plenty of guys on this team who can put the puck in the back of the net. They just need to start doing it when they have the advantage. So those are my 3 questions for Thursday night's game against the Grand Rapids Griffins. It's starting to just sound worse than playing the Chicago Wolves, because you just expect those games to suck. But now it seems like the games against Grand Rapids suck even more, because they're usually not even close like some of the Wolves games are. Ugh, Grand Rapids. Do you have any questions for this team going into that game? Do you have any observations of the season as a whole? Do you have any questions about the Blackhawks prospects that you would like me to answer? Leave those in the comments down below. If you want to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can head on over to FromCenterIce.com. Check out the latest podcast episodes, game recaps for the IceHogs, previews for the Blackhawks. I also have the whole IceHogs roster on the site with updated stats and some other info. Currently working on the Blackhawks one. By the time this goes up, that might also be on the site. You can head over there and check it out. If you're a social media type of person, you can follow us on all of those accounts. They are all linked in the description down below. All of that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. The IceHogs have finally won 2 more games. They looked good. Now they have a very tough opponent on Thursday. We just gotta hope for the best. But I will see you all after that game. Bye, guys. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that subscribe button to catch more From Center Ice content. If you could, hit the like button on this video, maybe share it with a friend or 2. And while you're here, check out the podcast playlist and catch up on some old episodes. We will catch y'all next time. Bye!